internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
but the key thing is we think just like the early days of the Internet of Knowledge, going back 20 years ago, that Internet would not have value unless you got the key custodians of knowledge on board, the universities, the research facilities, think ARPANET, Stanford. We think we're in that same period with the Internet of Value, that before these technologies have key utility, we have to get the custodians of value on board first. And those are the banks, financial institutions, market makers. Then I think we're set up where these things can have tremendous value across the board. And so these things can have tremendous value across the board. And so
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's episode. The real reason why Chris Larsen is selling, we can only speculate right now, is that he was told to before Moon. Listen, folks, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on what's going on right now. XRP is currently trading at $3.03, but like, we already know where this is going. People are panicking because Chris Larsen moved XRP to exchanges and the price and the whole crypto ecosystem, in fact, is dumping. So unless Chris Larsen moved Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and Solana as well to dump on the market, we'll never know. But realistically speaking, all of this is short-term noise. And you guys remember Jet McCaleb and his almost 1 billion XRP, and they were saying when he sells, the market's going to dump, blah, blah, blah. Nothing happened. Okay? Stop panicking. It's a few million XRP in exchanges. You seriously think one of the co-founders of Ripple is just dumping XRP before it hits all-time highs? You think this wasn't coordinated, strategic, and agreed upon behind closed door years ago? And just to show you, Chris Larsen dumped on us last year as well. And guess what? He didn't sell and dump on us when the price was high. We don't even know if this exactly got dumped, okay? He sent out millions of XRP. Okay, back on September 25th. Some of this, or one of the transactions we could confirm, was to a political donation. But the rest, we don't know, right? And at the end of the day, this was done when the price of XRP was at 56 cents, 58 cents. So I want to just tell you that you've completely misunderstood what's going on here. Let me tell you something. These moves do not happen randomly. They were orchestrated. There are timelines, agreements, strategic releases. You think Chris Larsen doesn't know what's coming? This isn't about cashing out. This is about structure. And this guy helped build the damn rails for the new financial system. And some of you are acting like he's trying to escape. Escape what? The very system he spent the last 10 years of building? Come on, folks, use your head. Because here's the bigger picture. While everyone is looking at what happened with this Chris Larsen wallet and magically XRP crashed at the same time, JP Morgan is literally telling you, okay, stablecoins will be integrated into traditional finance and tokenization of real-world assets is accelerating. Now let's pause for a second and let those words sit in your mind, because underneath that statement is a blueprint, and that is USDC, RLUSD, XRP. That trio is about to run the system, and barely anyone's connecting these dots right now. When Ripple drops RLUSD on the XRP ledger and the US quietly clears the path for a Fed master account, no one says a thing. They literally applied for that Fed master account. And let me explain to you why this changes everything. On a speculative number, $3 trillion through USDC, RLUSD, and counter in, we're leaving out FX transactions, corporate payments, RWA, so much, okay? we're leaving out of this, what do you think is going to bridge between those assets? XRP. You want to know why XRP price hasn't exploded yet? Because utility demands stability. But once those trillions are live, once the corridors are loaded, XRP will have no choice but to rise in value and keep going and never look back. Remember, maybe clip this and listen to it 5 years from now, but you need depth in the order book. You need liquidity on demand at scale. That means XRP has to have the capacity to settle billions, even trillions instantly. And XRP at $10 is not going to do that. And XRP at $50, is going to attempt to handle trillions through tokenized treasuries, corporate bonds, trade finance, and stable coins. That's still not going to be enough, okay? That's still not going to be enough. And market cap is flawed, okay? It's a flawed metric in this space. You cannot use traditional market cap logic for a utility-based liquidity token. XRP isn't a stock. It's not meant to sit in a wallet and collect dust unless you have been accumulating this and understanding the true value driver of it. It means to move money at scale. And just like early adopters got into Bitcoin early adopters got into XRP early, and they're going to benefit off of that. Okay, it's just how the game is. And it was all in front of your eyes. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Just remember, even XRP at $500, that's a $25 trillion market cap. Okay? Like, that is going to happen one day. XRP's design requires a high value. Otherwise, it can't perform the function it was built for. So Chris Larsen moving tokens, I mean, that's not bearish at all. I'm happy that he's selling at these levels, knowing what's ahead, right? So with that being said, like I said, we still cannot 100% confirm if he sold. Even if he did, good. That means his XRP's gone, right? Then he's going to have to buy back in. But again, you guys think these guys are in it for the money. Honestly speaking, these guys have so much money. And you and I both know that they're not out there flashing their things. Okay, they're very private individuals. These guys do not care about money. And some of you say, how can you sit there and say they don't care about money? Listen, they've been at Silicon Valley for a very long time. Okay, we're talking closed door meetings with Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, PayPal Mafia, Stanford University, and these are all facts. And they've had opportunities to make millions, billions. These kind of opportunities are landed in front of them all the time. They don't need money. They do this for fun. As much as it sounds crazy, obviously they're building. They know how big this is going to get. That's why they're all on board. But at the end of the day, it's more important for them to structure XRP to really be that, water that's going to be flowing through the plumbing forever. That's bigger. I'm telling you right now, that's way bigger in their goals than money. Okay. And a few people will understand that and some won't, but trust me, these guys are not in it for the money, period. It's much, much, much bigger than that. And I've said this always, there is a couple people within Ripple that know exactly how high the value of XRP can go. Okay? That's a fact. That's a fact. There is maybe a one or two, maybe a couple more. I don't know. This is part right here. I'm speculating. I got my tinfoil hat on, but we have done logical, mathematical breakdowns in different perspectives. And math is math. You can't really disagree with math. You can't dispute math unless you math it out. And I've asked you guys to math it out and tell me how XRP cannot go to $100. And to this date, nobody has been able to. So that should say a lot. Math it out. But like I said, we are on the cusp of a major move in crypto. And I am adding more to my positions. Okay, we are on 2-bit right now. Take advantage of the deposit bonuses. But, oh man, I'm very excited that this pullback happened because we have an opportunity to add back to my positions here. So I'm going to be looking to open another trade, potentially Chainlink on 2-bit $16, and we may have hit some potential bottoms here, folks. Very important going into the weekend. I'm very nervous. Well, not nervous. I don't really care what happens, but just kind of nerve-wracking just to see what happens in the short term. But you guys all aware of what's coming. But let's see. If we were to go ahead and zoom out and look at the environment, potentially coming back to 18 cent, I could try to catch the swig, this little swing trade. Let's go to the one. Yeah, it could come potentially lower. So maybe we're going to stand by, but some potential. We got to see a 1 day. Well, we got to see a couple 4-hour green candles here. Because even if it comes right back out, you could get out of the trade. But going into the weekend, I would stand down and just see. Maybe we get a weekend pump. I wouldn't be shocked if we got a weekend pump. That would be pretty legendary and just would define. The bull market is 100% here. But let's see. I feel like a lot of leverage traders have been flushed out with high leverage, with these 10-cent moves, these 15-cent moves, and then really got the latecomers. But let's see how this goes. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with another video. Gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours Crypto. Let's get right into today's doubleheader. This is enormous. Check this out and look at how it all ties together. So today, Standard Chartered came out and announced that they're going to launch their Bitcoin Ethereum trading desk. This is very important because Standard Chartered is working on Zodia Custody and Zodia Markets, which provide services ranging from custody to over-the-counter trading. And what's very, very important about this aspect is going back to 2023, Ripple acquired Matico. Why is this important? Because Zodia Custody integrated on the Matico network after Ripple acquired it. So yes, Standard Chartered, Zodia Custody, and Ripple are working together. And you even have them stating that combining our forces on this institutional network for digital asset flows, spanning sub-custody trading use cases and beyond, is an important step on the way to building truly rigorous digital asset infrastructures globally. And this is a very, very bold statement. Don't forget, Standard Chartered invested into Ripple back in 2016, and they even had a successful proof of concept that delivered the world's first application of the on distributed ledger technology. Okay, like that was a successful proof of concept back in 2015, and you're probably wondering, why aren't they using it? Well, I mean, you should understand this by now. Because they don't have all the pillars they want in place. If you look at this panel list, look at this. This is from Ripple themselves. Industry leaders from Zodia, Custody, Standard Chartered, HSBC, and Matico discuss strategic objectives, institutional use cases, and optimizing efficiency. And prior to play you the clip, remember this, right? Announcing HSBC's new digital asset custody service. And here we have Monica Long, Ripple president, right? HSBC, Ripple, Matico, Standard Chartered. And just take a listen to what they state here.
Collaboration is always much more successful, providing we have a set understanding of what the rules of the game are. And that really comes down to the regulatory aspect that we have, that ensures that at the end of the day, the owner of the asset can sleep at night in the knowledge that they know what they own and they have legal title to it. It's being kept in a secure way.
And then I'm going to play you a clip here by a Standard Chartered director. Listen to what he says here about how there's trillions are coming. And, you know, the few that understand are going to get rewarded very handsomely. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Big waves are coming. The floodgates are going to open. And we are on the cusp of a major, major move in this whole crypto ecosystem. and I cannot wait to enjoy the ride with you guys into the trillions.
Memorandum of Understanding to establish our digital asset custodian, called Zodia, here in the DIFC. Now, 5 years ago, we weren't talking about a digital asset custodian in Standard Chartered Bank.
How big can that be, Bill? This is becoming a hub for crypto. It's very, very clear it's an ambition. So from an MOU to dollars, tell me what it can be.
So we have Zodia is our digital asset custodian, and I do make the distinction between digital assets and crypto.
Okay.
Today, crypto is the bulk of what is digital assets today. When we look forward 5 or 10 years from now, I think we'll find vast swathes of the financial architecture that has been tokenized. That could include central bank digital currencies, which of course exist to some extent so far, but they're quite small at this point. Stable coins, tokenized real assets, whether it's, Jenny talks about effectively the digitization or tokenization of money market funds, right? These are trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that could find themselves in tokenized form. And there's an underlying infrastructure that's different for distributed ledger technology relative to the current state of play. And to the extent that Dubai or anyone else can get ahead of the game and make sure that infrastructure is embedded in the local infrastructure, but also regulated from here, it gives you a huge head start in terms of building that industry over time.
Well,
Building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend, ripple flow into the end. Truth is quiet, bold and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute to the calm, to the wise. Salute 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute to the heart, to the plan. So here's to the signal, clear and bright, to the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight, salute, we rise with the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.